We welcome you all to the second part of understanding literacy and helping children develop their literacy skills in early years. And we thank all our speakers who have joined us today for helping us navigate this topic and understand it better. In the previous episode, we understood more about the different strategies to help children acquire a language better and develop their skills. And we also learned about the various other roles that a language plays in a child's life. And continuing this discussion, I would like to ask you, Ms. Sheetal, that in Muktangan, from what we understand, teachers communicate with children using multiple languages. And this has also led to a strengthening of bond between the teacher and the child. There is a sense of security that the child feels when the teacher is speaking in a familiar language or is helping encouraging the child to express in his or her own language in school. As a teacher, how is this helping in the emotional development of children?
Yes, ma'am. In primary, students are learning. In primary classes, students are learning three languages, namely English, Marathi, Hindi. One more language, which is their mother tongue. It's very challenging to teach them Marathi in primary level because in this stage, बच्चे अपनी भाषा में बोलना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं. When teachers use dual language in the class, बच्चों को टीचर अपनी भाषा में बोल रही है इस बात का एहसास होता है and that thing is very important in this stage because they feel very comfortable when teacher will use dual language while explaining, while talking with them. They get more attached to the teacher emotionally in primary class. Due to dual language, children learn more new words and it helps to improve their vocabulary. Child, child can explain their queries or issues or personal experiences in their own words in dual language. It helps teachers to understand their need and teacher guide them accordingly. If it is help and when teacher use dual language uh, constantly, then after some time children also understand teacher what teacher need to say them. So this helps to build team building. So it's very important in this stage teacher uh, communicate with children in dual language.
Yes, and I think it's very important for the emotional development of children because the child is not scared. Sometimes, if a language is like forced or imposed on the child might get really scared to start speaking, or might feel very shy that I don't know a particular language, how can I communicate? But here, the whole environment is that language is a means of communication and expression. So the child is comfortable and free to express in whatever language he or she knows, and then simultaneously the teacher also works with the child to acquire the new language or learn the skill better. So I think that is very, very important. And learning a language can be extremely abstract.
Yes.
Because grammar, there are so many rules, and if I write a letter, say k or b on the board, how much will it actually resonate with me? So uh, using concrete objects, like Ms. Prachi also shared, that using concrete objects is extremely important if we want to learn a language. So could you highlight how are these aspects also incorporated in the lesson planning process? Like how do you all plan how the concept would be taught, how the activities would be planned for the child? Because again, every child has a different learning level. So then that also needs to be kept in mind when you all are planning. And specifically during the pandemic, with everything shifting to an online mode, what were some of the modifications that you all had to make in this process?
Yes. Actually, in Muktangan, we teach Marathi as second language, as Prachi said. So, at primary level, we introduce Marathi language in very unique way. मराठी गाने, कथा, वीडियोस, पिक्चर टॉक, पिक्चर रीडिंग, इन सारी चीजों का ज्यादातर इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Child learn language by listening and speaking. So generally teachers use dual language while give them concrete examples. Like in letter introduction, we show them concrete object. जैसे if we are introduce them so letter. So on that according that letters, teacher will show them concrete objects like chatai, chamcha, chapati. So that that things are familiar with the children, and children know that उस लेटर की शुरुआत से आने वाला मीन्स जो टीचर लेटर सिखा रही है उसकी शुरुआत स लेटर से हो रही है, तो उससे अपने घर के जो थिंग्स है, सो children are better understand. And like this teachers take concepts, numbers concept, shape concepts, colors, that. And in pandemic, while taking online session, we used to show stories, videos, PPTs for letter introduction. Children also showing them while teacher introduce any new letters. So children उनके घर की जो चीजें हैं उस लेटर से आने वाली, तो बच्चे भी बहुत उत्सुक रहते थे दिखाने के लिए इन online session. So children on video that and showing their home material. Teacher ये च से आ रहा है, teacher ये म से आ रहा है. So children can better understand through concrete and this active constructivism. With the help of games activity, we introduce new concept like number, colors, and in व्याकरण में part of speech. सिखाने के लिए भी बहुत सारी unique activities and games teachers were planned. So, in our planning, to achieve a learning outcome, we adopt active constructive way and 21st century skill in a lesson plan. So, through that, we are according children need. So we plan that activity and taking the children.
And what you spoke about active constructivism, I think that is the most fundamental, because only when each one of us is really involved in that learning process, only then can we really understand the language. Simply by somebody telling us that this is the letter, this is the sound, and this is the word, we won't really understand it. But when, like you said, there are activities, there are games, children are encouraged to think critically.
Yes.
They work with each other. There are many activities where children are collaborating with each other. So again, there is an exchange of language, because children are from different linguistic backgrounds. So all these things add to acquiring the language better. Um, and I think that is something that all of us as teachers, educators, or even parents at home who are engaging with children, because in the pandemic, children were at home, and for many parents it would have been quite challenging if they are also not familiar with the language to then help their children at home. But how the way you all have managed to use active constructivism even during online classes, and introducing children to objects that are available within their houses and modifying the activities based on that, I think that is really commendable, because in that way children have not missed out on that actively getting involved in the learning process, because that is, I think, a core philosophy in Muktangan. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us and guiding us through this process, Ms. Sheetal. And we really look forward to discussing more in the coming part. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.